Okay. Yes, awesome. So we're live. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. It's so exciting to share this work with you, and I am super honored. So we're doing a live training today on healing from the past and what that looks like. So if this is your first time with me and you are new to my work, or you're here to just get some insight or help in your own life, definitely say hello and just let me know that you're here. So if you wouldn't mind jumping on the chat and letting everybody know where you're from, and that way we can connect and get to know each other more. Yeah, cool. So as I give everyone a chance to say hello, I'll tell you a little bit about me. So I am an intuitive and a spiritual teacher, and an author. I've written several books. Two of them are focused on intuition, psychic development, and mediumship, so connecting to spirit. And then the last book, my latest book, is Into the Light, which is a collection of poems, and they explore healing. They explore healing from trauma. They explore healing from abuse. They explore spirituality and connecting to one's spiritual voice, connecting to intuition, using creativity as a tool to also heal, um, and also gain insight and tools from meditation, from spirituality to heal. And so that's been my life's work for the last like 10 years. I've committed myself to not only exploring my intuitive gifts, but exploring mediumship, exploring spirit, exploring yoga, hypnotherapy, like everything under the sun, past life regression. So yeah, I've done a lot of different trainings. Some of them have resonated a lot with me. The ones that seem to stick the most are definitely intuitive development trainings, mediumship trainings, yoga training is amazing, and creative work. So anything creative, including art, writing, painting, all of that makes my heart like leap for joy and makes me feel good. So all of that has kind of encompassed my healing journey. And so the healing journey for me, what I like to think of it is, it's not like a straight line. So wherever you are in your healing journey, whether you're healing from trauma, you're healing from loss, you're healing from rejection or betrayal, or just something painful that happened as a kid, or something that even happened in the womb, whatever it is, your healing journey is personal, right? It is universal in the sense that there may be somebody out there who can relate to you or relate to your struggle, but it is personal. Like, what works for me does not necessarily work for you. And so as I've grown, I've looked at, other people's healing journeys and tools that they've used, and I've tried them on, I've used them, and not all of them have been tools that I liked or like resonated with me. So I wonder if this relates to you. So if you're watching this webinar right now, did you find tools in your life and in your healing journey that have been shared but didn't really like always work for you? And if so, feel free to share. Yes, you have found that not everything that someone else says that works for them is what works for you. And so this healing journey is not of a straight line. So some days you'll feel like you've completely healed from this old wound, or you feel free from it, right? And then all of a sudden the next day somebody does something, or something happens and it triggers you, and boom, you're right back where you started with this whole experience. Can anyone relate to that? Yes? If so, type in yes. And so you might find that you're in this journey of healing, and then all of a sudden like something happens, and then you're not really, you're still in that process of nurturing this wound. right? So it's kind of like, let's say you had, an injury in your body, right? So you've healed it, at least, you've healed it as best you can. And then sometimes during certain weathers or certain exercises, it starts to flare up. It starts to, bring pain, or it's, uncomfortable, that you can't really like exercise that part of your body, or when it's cold, it affects this part of your body. Or if it's hot, it affects that part of your body. So the environmental conditions also affect it. It triggers it, it gets flared up, whatever it is. And so you have to take extra precautionary measures to prevent it, or to shift it or calm it down when you're feeling these sensations or having this experience in your body. So it's the same thing with our emotional state. It's being mindful of the tools that will help us to move as quickly through, and sometimes not quickly. Sometimes we need to listen and explore and understand what is going on there. So sometimes it's like having a friend who comes over that's in a panic and in a frenzy, and it's like, oh my God, like, like freaking out. And you still need to do your work. Like, you still need to go to work, you still need to do your things, but you want to be there for your friend. So you make a bed for your friend. Maybe you say, you know what, you can hang out on the couch here, but you can't stay for, forever, unless that's what you decide to do. And even if you do, you have boundaries with them so that they're not, disrupting your daily life, and that you can coexist in harmony. So healing from the past is exactly that. It is a relationship to these inner wounds that sometimes may take what will feel like a lifetime to really feel truly healed from, especially if it's something that is a loss or is trauma, or heartbreak. These are things that take up space in us. Heartbreak, loss, trauma. Like, those are some of the main things that I've heard from people. That's something I've experienced in 10 plus years of working with people, is that it's usually some type of trauma, it's a type of a loss, or it's a heartbreak that we cannot move forward from 100%. For some reason, we're still there in that pain, or that pain gets triggered, or creates distrust in us, makes us feel unsafe, makes us feel alone, makes us feel depressed. Whatever it is, it is like this emotional, like blow up almost. Sometimes we're able to manage it, sometimes it's harder. So these are some of the things I've learned in the process that may support you, and also we'll do some work around this. But having a relationship, a coexisting relationship to whatever it is that is the source of the pain. So if it's losing someone that you loved, whether it's through death or divorce or breakup, if it's a trauma that lives in your body, and lives in your mind, or it's something else, it's being in relationship to the source of that pain. So we can't change it. It happened. Is it going to go away? No, not really. May not. But you might have a different relationship to it, where you just give it a voice, right? Give it a voice and let it have space with where it is. So once you acknowledge that source of the pain, and you see it and you feel it, and you're like, sometimes our reaction, right, is to either like suppress it and avoid it. I'm going to go and like work really hard, and like, as long as I'm working, like, I'm not going to deal with this. As long as I'm doing something, I'm not dealing with this. As long as I'm avoiding and escaping, I don't need to deal with that. And then so many years have passed, and all of a sudden it hits you out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't feel like this before. So part of it is being in relationship to it, letting it coexist, and then doing something with it. Assign it a purpose. So if you're working through opening your heart again after, losing someone that was really important to you, whether it's that they passed away, or that this is a heartbreak, or if you lost a child, right? these are some of the hardest griefs to heal from. They're the hardest griefs, they're the most challenging, and it's completely normal for you to feel like you are this emotional roller coaster. So what's important is having like a game plan in place. Because once we have a game plan in place, we have all the things that we need there to support us in when we're feeling super down, when we're feeling like we don't want to get out of bed, when we're feeling like we want to give up on ourselves or we want to give up on life. So, and I've had moments in my life where I'm just like, I don't exactly know why I'm here. I don't exactly know like what is the reason for me to be here. At 7 years old, I had this awareness that I should not be here. And so I had this thought that I would be better off not being on the earth plane. And as I've grown, I can see that there was something in that experience for me as a child where I learned something very, very innate about myself, which is that I had a very intuitive insight to my circumstances. And I had also the insight that I wasn't going to be leaving the earth anytime soon. So these were the cards that I was handed. This is what I get to face in my life. So having a game plan in place is like number one key here. So when we're working through healing from the past, it's not going to be an overnight thing. You're not going to be completely free 100% all the time unless you make it a practice, that you practice releasing, you practice healing, and you face it as best you can and continue to come back and face it, continue to come back and face it. It's like being in, it no longer becomes a fight as it becomes a relationship. Again, living in the same house with your nemesis, if you will. That so then eventually becomes just this tender part of you that needs extra love and extra attention and extra nurturing, extra repair. So having a game plan gives us the opportunity to know we're not alone. So the game plan for me has been having support from really good people. So having humans in my life who really love me and who really support me and can remind me of like, you know what, you're having a rough day, but here's a good song to lift you up and to get you going. And like, this is why, because I love you. And like, I have friends who do that for me. And so part of it is going out and looking for your tribe, like looking for people who understand you or can understand, they may not understand you, but they may be able to just be a good friend to you. The more good people in your life, the better. So if you don't have that, one of the things that will really, really support the healing journey is having good people in your life. So part of that also for me was because I had trust issues that it's hard for me to trust people that I can like meet. I'm like, I don't know who to trust, right? So I would ask Spirit to guide me to people or bring them to me, people that I can be trusted, I can trust and to feel safe with. And so if you're struggling with having community or having friends or even reaching out for support, one of the best things to do is sit with Spirit and ask Spirit to send you earth angels who can be by your side and guide you through this really, really tough, part in your life, this really dark place, this grieving, this painful experience that still haunts you. Like whatever it is, it's about also like letting the universe work with you. So letting the universe also give to you what is needed for you to feel loved and supported and safe. So one is having a game plan. Two is having people, really good humans in your life. Whether it's, you might have that one good best friend, but that one good best friend can't be there all the time. So get yourself a team of people, someone you can have lunch with once a week, someone where you go and you do service with once a week or whatever, once a month. Like, it doesn't matter. Just have good people in your life. Good people who call you, who are making sure you're okay, who want to be there for you and are interested in your well-being. And also mental or emotional support network, whether it's a coach or a therapist or an intuitive mentor, or all of the above, it's going to like be epically great to have all of that. Like for my recovery from healing from so many years of abuse and trauma, if I didn't have a therapist or business coach or really good friends, and also my relationship to spirit and my intuition, and I didn't let any of that, if I just threw all of that away, like I don't think I would be here, plain and simple. Like I would have offed myself years ago, and I tried to. So I'm just being real with you that the only way I could really save myself was being intuitively aware that I couldn't do it alone. If I let myself sit in my stuff alone, it literally just got worse. Every day it was like a fighting battle to want, like, to be here, to be even breathing. I was just like, I didn't understand the reason for it. So the things that saved my life was my conversations with the universe. So I would talk to the universe and I would ask the universe for help. I would ask the universe to let me, get a sign, let me get, somebody who would help me, like send me people that would be there, or just send me something. Like I would pray every day. I would pray the serenity prayer. I would pray for help. I would pray to like make it to the next day. And surely enough, with enough intention, because we are that powerful, and enough resilience, I got little signs along the way from people, earth angels who came to my like rescue literally and helped me when I was a teenager. Otherwise I could have been a drug addict or dead or anything. Like, yeah. So what's important is being also having that intuitive relationship to the universe, even if you can't hear anything, even if you're like, I don't hear anything, I don't feel like spirit is there, I don't, I'm not getting any intuitive impressions. Just continue to practice it every day. If you have a prayer that you like, if there's a song that's like a spiritual song, or a poem that you feel really connected to that gives you some peace, if it's a place that you can go to, if it's a creative outlet that gives you a place to express yourself, if it's a book that you like to read, or types of books that you like to read, all of these tools will support you in being able to connect deeper to that inner wisdom and that inner truth. But first, the only way out is through. So the only way we can really get through the other side, because there's that quote that on the other side of fear is freedom. It's true. Like once we let go of whatever the fear is there, and we just acknowledge that we're scared, like I'm scared, it doesn't have as much weight as it does in my head. So once you acknowledge whatever the fear is, or the emotional pain that is there, the discomfort, it's kind of like, all right, I see the obstacles ahead of me. I can feel the fear coming up, but I also know that I'm not alone, that I have the universe on my side, that I have spirit by my side, and I have people who are starting to come into my life who are intuitively reaching out, and I get to receive it. So there's that other quote, like, dare to reach out your hand into the darkness and pull somebody into the light. So these things are super, super imperative when we're in the healing journey. So some days you'll feel like you've really like let go of a lot. And then other days, like the scar tissue flares up. And then other days that scar tissue no longer has the same weight that it once held in your story, in the frame of your mind. So some of the tools that have helped me is one, telling my story. So telling the story of whatever it is that's creating the pain, telling the story, finding a safe space to tell it. For me, it was through writing, and it still is through writing. So I found poetry, I find blogging to be super great sources of tools for me to heal. So telling the story in whatever way you can tell the story, where you feel safe enough to tell the story. Maybe it's through music, maybe it's through a creative outlet, maybe it's through cooking, maybe it's through food, where you create a magical meal but you channel all of this energy and all this stuff into something beautiful. So finding a place to shift it, to have it, let it be a voice. So creative outlets, writing, journaling, telling the story is imperative because it frees it up. It gives it place, like it lets it out from its cage. So telling the story and finding support from people who can also hold the space for you while you're in your healing journey. The second thing was meditation. So connecting to meditation in many different ways. So whether it was hypnotherapy, whether it was visualization, whether it was connecting with my spirit guides, whether it was connecting with my higher self, but every day or I would find a practice to connect with myself. It would be, even if it's 5 minutes or 2 minutes or it's 20 minutes, meditation, guided meditations, super, super, super supportive for myself, because I was able to really just like put something, like apply what my stuff was, like healing from trauma. I could find a guided meditation on healing from trauma. I could find a guided meditation on healing, from abuse, or heart healing, or, like loss or grief. There are meditations for literally everything out there. So if you're struggling with your own meditation practice, then go and buy, Deepak Chopra's 21-day meditation program on heart healing. There are dozens and dozens of meditations for this practice. So meditation is another one. So 1 is telling the story, 2 is meditation, and 3 is finding movement. So moving your body in some way is also super helpful in letting out wherever the pain is in your body, whether you hold it in your chest and it manifests as anxiety, whether it is like in your core and it manifests with digestive issues, or in your lower back. It's like moving your body in healthy ways where you know that you've done something good for your body. Did anybody just see what I feel like I just saw, like a flare go by me? I don't know if I'm making that up or what, but anyway, moving your body in a healthy way gives you access to also let your body free up whatever is stagnant emotionally there, because we hide in our bodies, right? We like hide through our posture, we like hunch over, we sometimes are overexert our bodies. And so there's this balance of learning what your body needs, and also diet. So the diet part is super, super imperative for making sure that you're okay, physically okay. There was a woman who is a friend of mine, now a colleague, who told me a really amazing story that she was partying very hard in her early 20s, and she wasn't eating, but she had a very traumatic life, and she was suffering. And so her ways of coping were through alcohol and alcoholism and not eating. It was just a downhill slope for her. And she said one day she was driving and literally heard a voice tell her that if she kept it up, she would die soon. And it wasn't her intuitive voice, it was a voice outside of her. And so sometimes there are these divine interventions from the universe or from spirit that are there to wake you up. They're there to like, hey, like, look what's going on here. Like, you got to pay attention and come back to yourself and start the process of healing. And so she committed to really healing some of this stuff. And slowly, a lot of it started getting freed up in her. But it started too with her body, how she was taking care of her body. So our bodies are these divine manifestations of the universe. They are these divine manifestations of God. We are miracles, like in walking form, right? And just like, you can look at something beautiful in nature and think, wow, it's so beautiful. Like, you are also the extension of nature. Like, you live, breathe, eat, sleep, you go to the bathroom, you have the power to like create and invent things. We're in our own ecosystem. Like, we are a micro universe. So very, very powerful stuff. And so I'm just gonna see if there's any questions about anything so far. So if you have anything you'd like to share, feel free to share it now. Yes, Thanks for being on here, guys. Does anyone have any questions or anything they'd like to say? So there, again, these are things from healing from the past. For anyone, again, is not a straight line. Sometimes we can spontaneously heal from things. It's very possible, right? You know, we have people who have been sick, physically sick, and were able to miraculously heal, you know, stage 4 cancer patients. Like, yeah, there are these moments where we can spontaneously heal ourselves. The power of the mind is a universe, you know, it can heal itself. It can heal the body. And I feel super, super, super enthusiastic about that we can spontaneously heal if we so will it to. And it's possible there, right? And people sometimes have been able to heal through the practice of changing their life completely around. Like something, you know, epically life-changing or a loss or something shakes up their whole universe. And then there's a spiritual awakening that happens. And then there is the journey of healing. And then there is changing completely everything in their life from what they thought it was supposed to look like or what they thought they wanted, to the way that they eat, to the people they talk to the relationships they have, losing certain friends along the way. Sometimes your healing journey will also be this, where you literally change your entire course of your life, and that's okay too. It's just about you feeling safe and supported in the process, making sure that you're okay. And if you're not, like making sure people know that you need this support right now because you're about to change your life drastically. And even if those people don't understand, the ones who are really there, who love you for you, will be there to support you. So someone's sharing something here. The healing parts flaring up is exactly where I've been. I've actually been very run down because my foot hasn't healed and I can't run. And so I've become a hermit when I'm not working. Yes. So interesting, you know, it's the body tells us stories about ourselves. So when it's not working properly, or, you know, it's injured, there's something there for us to connect to, right? There's something there for us to listen to. And we don't always want to listen to our bodies. We just want to treat them like machines. We want them to just do the job and shut up. And so part of it is like, okay, well, what can I learn from this? Like, how can I make the most out of this experience if a part of my body is not operating to its full potential? Because again, like if you try to rush the process, it may actually never truly heal, right? So it's like bones that are broken and stuff, if we don't set them and take care of them properly, they may never truly heal and be okay. So the same thing, it's like with ourselves, whatever emotionally happens, if we're not treating it properly, we may never be truly okay. But the part of it that's important is that you have an infinite bag of tricks and tools that will support you in healing. So that next time you're getting triggered, you're like, okay, I've been here. I know what this is. I see this from a mile away. I've done this. And so you have this tool, and you have this tool, and you have this breathing technique, and you have this option. So options make us powerful. Options give us confidence because we know, again, we're not alone. We're not sitting in our heads, stirring around with these stories, reliving the trauma. And so, you know, having tools, infinite amounts of tools in your healing journey will be so, so powerful for you. And that's what supported me so much, is that, okay, I've got this tool, I've got this tool, not just 2 tools, right? I need a lot of tools because this is a lot to heal. Like this is this is going to take a while. This isn't something that I can put a nail in and boom, it's done, it's fixed, woohoo, keep going. Yeah, maybe like somebody said something to me, it hurt my feelings, and then we moved on. They took responsibility for it. I forgave them, and boom, it's over. You know, But if it's something that's been, super ingrained in me or has happened so many times, then I need a lot. I need a lot of tools. I need a lot of tricks. You have to be kind of a magician with your mind. You have to be like a magician with your healing journey, because there will be moments when you'll look at it like, oh yeah, that was easy. I got through that. Like I can feel it. I got through that moment. I'm feeling okay. Like I feel supported. I feel confident. I feel like I handled this really well with myself. And then I'm okay. And then something else might happen. It might take you, it will be super hard for you to get out of that. You'll be still there like, this is a tough one. This is a bigger mountain to climb. So, can't let go of one grandson, harder to heal, but lots of lessons. Yeah, exactly. So finding support groups too, like finding groups of people who have similar stories, who have similar like struggles. Facebook is great for that. There's communities for that everywhere. These things will be super helpful in healing. But being a magician with your healing journey is going to be such a great tool for you, is collecting your bag of tricks, collecting your bag of tools. You've got at least 10 tools by your side, and you're applying one at least consistently every day. For me, it's at least 3. Like I need to practice writing every week, at least 3 to 4 times a week. I need to practice yoga at least 3 to 4 times a week, if not every day. Like my yoga practice is sacred to me. My meditation practice is sacred to me. Like connecting to myself, I need to practice that every day. These are tools for me, and they've helped me, because if I don't have them, then I'm not a good person. I'm not a good person myself, and I don't feel like I'm of any use to anyone else. And so the better that I take care of me, the better that I can be for anyone that comes in contact with me, right? So, and then having a support system has helped me, because I tend in the past to be like an isolator and withdraw from people. I'm like, nah, leave me alone. I got this. I can do this on my own. So society's changing, where consciousness is changing, where we're not wired to do things alone anymore. Like we're starting to reach out for support. We're getting more vulnerable with each other. We're getting much more emotional. We're being real. Like we're just being real humans, being authentic. Like, no, not everything is great right now. I'm struggling with this. I'm sorting through this, but you're attracting the people in your life who can get you to where you want to be. So point A to point B, not stuck at point A. Okay. Any questions, guys? Someone else is sharing, I've found it connecting with other widows has been really helpful. Sharing our feelings and stories helps. Yeah. I find that people really get a lot out of support with people who have had similar struggles and similar losses, similar traumas. It's just, it's something that, the fundamental basic of all of us is that we want to give and receive love. We want to feel loved. So as long as we are creating an atmosphere where we can help ease each other's suffering, we'll never be alone, and so there's something about collective groups coming together, even on this webinar tonight, that's important, is like having support, reaching out and even talking about it on a Facebook thread gives us this feeling of knowing that we're not alone in the universe, and that there are other people out there who can give each other a glimpse of hope, a word, something there that helps support the healing process, so that you don't stay in the hole and go down the rabbit hole and then lose faith and hope in yourself, because that's where fear starts to come in. Prayer and meditation currently is most healing. Great. Doing lots of support and bringing up my creative side. Yeah, so exactly, like do what works and do it as often as you can. There were times when I would meditate like 3 times a day because I just needed it. I would meditate, I would write, whatever it was that made me feel okay, or was like helping heal, or just move my emotions, or move the sadness, whatever it was, I'd just do that more. but sometimes it would be exercising more than normal. But I would rather be doing that than doing something else that was not super healthy for me, or beating myself up, or, you know, treating myself with disrespect. So do whatever is healthy and loving to yourself. Do it more. Like, it doesn't have to be once a day. Like, you can do it, you know, just have a balance with it. Finding the balance. Okay, so I'd like to just do a very simple heart healing meditation. So I want you to just go ahead and get comfortable wherever you are. And feel free to sit up straight and arch your back, plug your sitting bones into your chair, and just start to notice where your body falls. Start to energetically scan yourself from head to toe. And notice where you're holding the most tension in your body. Notice what this emotion is behind the tension. And notice what that emotion is attached to. And also notice that right now, it's not your job to change it, but mainly to see it and feel it. And then start to breathe into that space where you're holding all of that tension. Breathing in deeply from your core and letting your chest fill up and expand, and then exhaling out from your core all the way up through your chest, out your mouth. And again, practicing with that breath, noticing where the emotion is sitting in your body. Breathing in through your core first, letting that rise up through your chest and filling up your lungs and expanding to the space where the emotion's being held. And then exhale slowly out again through your core, letting the air rise up through your chest and out your mouth. And so imagining that this emotion is a part of you that you love dearly. Maybe it's your inner child, your favorite pet, your best friend. And so whatever is creating that emotion, acknowledge the source of it. And then just begin to make a comfortable space for that emotion to be. And so instead of running away from it or resisting it, let it make itself at home. And know that you are greater than that emotion. And that it's just a tender part of you that needs a little bit extra TLC. And so imagine that your heart begins to wrap its arms emotion. Reminds it that it's safe. That it's okay. That it's never alone. And that love is always there. That love is its friend. And if there was anything that you could give this emotion, perhaps a tool, just to bring it more peace, what would your heart want to give it? And now give that to yourself. And then start to breathe in. Again, expanding your lungs, filling yourself up from head to toe. Letting that same feeling of love from your heart wrap itself around you. As if you were coming home to a space that feels safe and supported in love. You're just coming home to yourself. And so acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge that you are a gift, perfect as you are. That you do not need to be anything else. You don't need to be more. You don't need to do more to be worthy, to be enough. To know that you're not alone. And so tonight I want you to set the intention that you invite the universe to send its angels to support you. And so send that thought out into the universe and invite spirit and invite the angels of the universe to support you in however that will manifest in your life. Tonight, tomorrow, this week, this month. Invite the support of the universe to come to your aid, to your rescue. And however these angels will come into your life, however these tools will come into your life, however these intuitive pulls will manifest. Be open, be willing, and allow yourself to receive them. And one more long, deep inhale in, grounding into your breath and letting that breath ground you into the earth by exhaling out. Let it wash down your back, into your base of your spine, all the way down your legs, into your feet. Ground into the earth. Feel your feet. Feel the weight of your toes. Move your feet around. Start to just kind of bring your hands to your legs. Rub your legs. Rub the tops of your thighs. And then bring your hands to your heart and bow your head in namaste and acknowledge yourself and acknowledge your connection and willingness to try something, to open your heart, to receive, to feel the connection of the universe, and however that connection will manifest in your life. And let go of whatever it should look like and let it manifest in however it needs to support you and your needs and your healing journey. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. So this was so awesome. And really, really, really beautiful. Thank you, everybody. So I'll give you a second to just kind of ground back in. And feel free to stretch. Okay. So if anybody wants to share anything really quickly, I invite you to now. This was really, really beautiful. And if there's any feedback you'd like to share or anything of that sort, I'm happy to hear your feedback, your answers. So anything, how was that meditation for you? Did you enjoy tonight's training? So if you enjoyed tonight's training, feel free to type in yes. If you enjoyed the meditation, if that was a supportive tool for you, feel free to share. Give me feedback. I like to know which trainings work for people. And I like to know like where you know, I'm divinely guided and intuitively guided to do this. And so I know that there's so much potent information in it, and I want to see how it affects you or impacts you. And if there's something, you know, that you need support in not understanding, or like maybe missing something, or you have an experience but you don't know what to make of it, feel free to share. Very good. Cried. Oh, well, we're holding the space for you. It looks like a lot of you guys were calling out to the universe, and the universe heard you and heard me. And so here we are sharing in the healing journey together. So I just want to acknowledge you for that, acknowledge you for taking time out of your evening or your day to be here tonight, and to give this gift to yourself, because that's truly what it is. And so every little bit helps. Every little bit kind of chisels away at those edges of yourself that are rough or are hard to digest or you struggle with. And so practice this kind of meditation. Write down what you resonated with tonight. Write down your intention, remembering that you did send that thought out to the universe to send you support, and be on the lookout and mindful of however healing starts to show up in your life. It might be somebody who randomly messages you or invites you to an event, or a book you find, or a podcast you hear, or, you know, this training, whatever it is, be just open to whatever that is for you. Thanks for being on here. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to shoot me an email. Go to my website, emilystroya.com. I want to let you know that this Friday, tomorrow, I'm like, whoa, look at that. It's a new moon this weekend. So really good time for manifesting, really good time to plant new seeds. It's almost the last new moon of this year, right? So December is literally around the corner. So tomorrow I'll be opening enrollment for my mentorship program, if that's something that calls to you. I'm only accepting 12 students. It's very intimate. Obviously, you can see from these trainings, it's very intimate. So that's a 9-month program with bi-weekly live calls like this, and where we do work together. And it's a really beautiful experience. And so you get access to other students who have gone through the trainings or are in the training now. And so it becomes like this really awesome tribe. And then you also learn the intuitive aspect of healing. You learn spirit and mediumship, and you have a mentor who's there. And so you practice live with other students, you get your feedback, you keep training, you keep growing, and it just becomes, again, it's a really great way to launch yourself into a journey to not only heal, transform your life, get in touch with your spiritual gifts, feel confident about yourself, but also find some inner answers for yourself. When I studied my 2-year training, I had no idea that it would change my life so much the way that it has. But if I hadn't, like, I would probably found another one. But intuitively, like it just calls you, this work, it just like knocks on your door. And sometimes you don't want to answer the door for like a really long time. And then other times you listen, and you're like, all right, I'm going to answer the door. Like, I think one knock is enough for me to know there's something there. So if that's anything that appeals to you, I'll post a link for you guys, and feel free to get on the email list, and you'll get some info on the mentor program if that's something that, tugs at your heart. And the next week we're doing a training on connecting to loved ones. So that will be really cool. And I also relaunched my blog. And so if you're interested in seeing some of my writings, that's emilystroya.wordpress.com. And I posted that in the links too, and you'll get it in an email. But I'm doing an advice column for people. So if you're looking for advice, you're like in a sticky situation in your life, or you don't know what to do. This is not like an intuitive question thing, like, oh, when am I going to meet the love of my life? No, this is more like looking for guidance on, a situation in your life. So you can shoot me an email and send me a letter. And if it's something that I feel called to answering, I will answer it for you and post it on the blog. And it's just it's fun. It's like a fun but great advice column. And people have sent in some pretty interesting responses to things in their lives with family and relationships. So there's a situation in your life that's been going on, and you're looking for some advice on how to handle it, feel free to reach out. So that's going to go on the blog. And my book, Into the Light, is out. For those of you who pre-ordered it, it's going to take a little bit of time to print them all. So I should have them out to everybody by the new year, if not like the end of January. But I really feel between December and January, I should have them all mailed out. So if you want a copy of my book, Into the Light, you can go to Amazon.com for that. And you can grab a Kindle, or you can order the hard copy. They're both really nice. So those links are for you. And I'll see you next week. Have a great evening. And be on the lookout for the replay through the email. And the mentorship is opening up tomorrow. And so that's all I got for you. Have a great night, you guys. And also just feel free to share your feedback if anything like interesting happens this week with, this healing journey and getting support, or meeting an earth angel, or anything synchronistic that happens like after tonight. I would be so curious to know, because when we collectively come together, we set this really powerful intention. And then shortly after, things just move, because the power of numbers like coming together is super powerful, right? Like alone versus a team, you can do more with a team than you can do alone. So just remember that tonight we came together collectively. And so just notice what happens in your life following tonight, and plant those seeds into the universe and allow yourself to receive those miracles and those tools to help you in your journey. So I'll see you later. Have a great evening. Thanks for being on here. Bye-bye.